You wake up feeling inspired. Today is the day you finally commit to that goal you've been putting off. You're pumped, energized, ready to take on the world, but by noon that motivation is gone. By the evening, you've convinced yourself that tomorrow will be the real start. Sound familiar? If you've ever found yourself trapped in this cycle, you're not alone. We often believe that motivation is the key to success, that if we could just stay inspired, we would finally achieve our dreams. But what if I told you that motivation is actually one of the most overrated forces in self-improvement? The truth is, motivation is fleeting. It's an emotion, and like all emotions, it comes and goes. If you rely on motivation to get things done, you're setting yourself up for failure. Instead, there's a better way, a way that doesn't depend on fleeting feelings, but on something much more powerful. Today, we're breaking down why motivation is unreliable, and more importantly, what actually works instead. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to take action consistently, even when you don't feel like it. Let's start with the problem. Motivation is unreliable because it's based on emotions, and emotions are unpredictable. Some days you wake up feeling ready to conquer the world, and other days you just want to stay in bed. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never be consistent, and consistency is the key to real progress. Think about New Year's resolutions. Every year, millions of people set ambitious goals. To lose weight, to read more, to start a business. In January, gyms are packed. By February, attendance plummets. Why? Because those people were relying on motivation. They felt inspired in the beginning, but when that initial excitement wore off, they had nothing to fall back on. Motivation creates a dangerous high-then-crash cycle. You get excited, you start strong, but then reality hits. Things get difficult, progress slows, and without that initial burst of energy, you stop. The cycle repeats, over and over, leading to frustration, self-doubt, and eventually giving up altogether. But here's the biggest flaw in relying on motivation. Waiting for motivation leads to procrastination. We tell ourselves, I'll do it when I feel ready, but readiness never comes. The truth is, most successful people don't work when they feel like it, they work regardless of how they feel. So if motivation isn't the answer, what is? The real secret to long-term success lies in systems, discipline, and habits, not motivation. Let's break it down. First, let's talk about how the brain actually works when building habits. Every habit follows a simple pattern: cue, routine, reward. This is known as the habit loop, and it's what drives most of our behaviors. For example, let's say you want to become a consistent writer. Instead of waiting for motivation, you create a system. Cue, you set up a dedicated writing space. Routine, you write for 10 minutes every morning no matter what. Reward, you track your progress and celebrate small wins. Over time, this repetition wires your brain to see writing as a normal, automatic part of your day, not something that requires motivation. Now, let's talk about why systems matter more than goals. Goals are great for setting direction, but they don't actually help you take action. If you say, I want to lose 20 pounds, that's just a goal. But if you say, I'm going to walk 10,000 steps every day and eat 80% whole foods, that's a system. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, puts it best. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. In other words, success doesn't come from setting big goals. It comes from consistently following a process. And then there's discipline, which is often misunderstood. People think discipline means forcing yourself to do things you hate, but real discipline isn't about suffering, it's about commitment. It's choosing to follow through even when it's inconvenient. It's knowing that action creates momentum, not the other way around. Here's the game changer. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Most people believe they need motivation first in order to take action. But the reality is, once you start, motivation follows. Think about the last time you didn't want to work out, but after 5 minutes of movement, you started to feel good. That's because action triggers dopamine, which makes you feel motivated after you begin. That's why one of the most powerful strategies for overcoming inaction is the 2-minute rule. When you're feeling resistance, commit to doing just 2 minutes of the task. Instead of, I have to write a chapter, just commit to writing 1 sentence. Instead of, I have to work out for an hour, commit to just 5 push-ups. The hardest part is starting, and once you start, it's easier to keep going. Another useful strategy is the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. If you have an impulse to act on a goal, count down from 5 and move immediately before your brain talks you out of it. This tiny mental trick pushes you to take action before doubt kicks in. So how do you make sure you take action even when you don't feel like it? Here are some practical strategies. Schedule it. If something is on your calendar, it's non-negotiable. Treat it like a doctor's appointment. Use habit stacking. Attach a new habit to an existing one. For example, after I brush my teeth, I'll write for 5 minutes. Create a low barrier entry. Make it so easy that you can't skip it. If you want to read more, keep a book on your nightstand. Focus on consistency over intensity. Going for a run daily for 10 minutes is better than doing it for an hour once a week. Surround yourself with accountability. Join a group, get an accountability partner, or publicly commit to your goal to increase follow-through. The truth is, motivation isn't what drives success. Motivation is a great spark, but it's not the engine. If you want to achieve something meaningful, you need systems, discipline, and habits that keep you moving forward, even on the days you don't feel like it. So don't wait for motivation to strike. Start small, take action, build habits that sustain you. Because once you do, you'll realize you never needed motivation in the first place. Now, here's my challenge to you. Drop a comment below with one habit you're going to start today. Let's make consistency the new motivation. If this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe, and share this with anyone who might need to listen to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.